That's so disrespectful.
I think that's racist.
Assam, dude.
Disrespectful.
That's worse.
Hello, everybody. It's the season of giving here at Toyotathon and Happy Honda Days. Please get your cars and drive over to another episode of an interesting discussion sometimes. Back here with the boys, we got Tarun, Haran, and Christian. Hey, everybody. What's up?
Hey, man, what's your name?
Toyota.
Oh, sorry. My name is Harsha, and I own a Toyota. Moving on.
That's
though.
true.
Haran didn't take a Toyota here. He took a flight. He's
Yeah, I
back
took-
home.
I took a
Haran,
Boeing here.
how's home, babe?
Home's
I'm
great,
sorry,
man.
bro.
Yeah, home's great. I flew back from Palo Alto on Saturday. On Saturday, the boys convinced me to go out as soon as I landed. So
I was
landed
not
at like
part
9.
of this. Just want to make that clear. I was not.
Yes, I meant
instigator.
Harsha and Turn did. They wouldn't let me just go home and sleep. They said I must come out. So I landed at 9 p.m. My bag got lost, which was kind of an L, but came the next day, so it's all right. But yeah, landed at 9, went out at 11, got drunk. Great night out.
Did you
Yeah.
yak?
I didn't yak, but funny you may
Oh.
ask. Someone here did it yak.
Oh,
And it wasn't
Why the fuck
me.
did you have to bring it up? And why is everyone looking at me? Motherfuckers.
how could you tell where
Yeah,
I'm looking? It's a Zoom
yaks.
call, bro. What the fuck?
Okay, we're all looking at the same
I know
screen.
you can look at me, bro. I know. I can feel it.
Hey, good.
Yeah, I yacked. I lost my streak. I'm sad about it. But yeah, this time was an anomaly. Like I was exceptionally drunk for some reason.
Yeah, Trun would not listen to anything I would tell him to do.
I mean,
I'd be
what
like,
else is
"Trun."
new?
I was like, Trun, like, pick your head up because he's like laying down. He's like, no. She's like, I like
Fucking
Trun, drink some
dive
water.
headfirst
He's like,
into the
"No."
crowd.
He's like, no, I don't want water. Yeah, no, dude,
He
was
also
doing his
got
leg-
kicked out of the bar.
Yeah, he got kicked out of the bar because like, the bartender came. Well, not bartender, sorry. Like the bouncer came over and he was like, yo, your friend got to go. And then Harsha went up to the bouncer and he was like, oh, my friend, like he's fine. Like just he'll need some water, it'll be okay. And he was like, and then the bouncer actually got kind of pissed off. He's like, oh, you think your friend's fine? Like he's saying like, you know, how Trun does like the instigator voice, like or like action. Yeah, he's doing it like that.
Well,
And
wait,
then
let
I
me
was-
mention here first that apparently I wasn't doing anything. Like I was just,
No,
I just had my head on a table. Like I wasn't being like belligerent.
Yeah, he wasn't creating anything, creating any problems. But I think it was just he looked like he was about to pass out, maybe whatever. So they just kind of wanted him out of there. But yeah, so the bouncer got really pissed off, and then I was like, to defuse the situation, I was like, I will leave, Mo. I don't want to get in a fight with this guy. But
Beta.
I was just salty that we just got a drink at that time, and I just wanted to drink it before we left. You know?
yeah, I
I'm
ended
pretty
up
sure.
drinking
Yeah.
it, bro.
Huh?
I ended up drinking your drink.
Oh, you should have gave it to Tarun.
Rally, a little rally. But yeah, well, I mean, Tarun's healthy now, and you know, I think he's gonna learn from that situation, right, Tarun?
Yeah, I actually will. Yeah. This time was different. Like usually, you know, you black out, or when I black out, I'm more like more so brown out. Like I remember bits and pieces from like nights here and there, and like usually after I yak, I come back to like consciousness as well. But this time I don't remember like a single thing. Like it's all gone, which is kind of scary. But we're fine. Shout out to my friends for taking care of me.
Yeah, this guy didn't know a single thing, man. We put an air mattress out for him, and he was sleeping on there. I think he got up after to maybe go to the bathroom or something, or like he heard us being quiet and sleeping. He came out to the living room, and one of our friends was sleeping on the couch. And he didn't turn to give a shit. He just slept on him or like next to him or like what the fuck? So that was like that for a couple hours. And then the guy got up and he said, what the hell? So he got up and slept on the floor and then turned it up on the couch only. So
Yeah, and then so me and Harsh were sleeping on an air mattress next to his couch, and like when I went to sleep, I knew my one of my other friends was sleeping on that couch, and I woke up, I thought he was still there. So then, like when I woke up, who I thought that was this guy was on the couch, and he looked over to me, and he was like saying stuff, and I was like, oh, he has like a different voice, maybe he had some morning voice, and then I put my glasses on, I'm like, holy shit, why is he on the couch? I was so fucking confused.
I woke up, right, and I have no recollection of what I did that night. You know what I mean, right? So I wake up and I didn't have a blanket on or anything.
Anyway, go on.
I didn't have like a blanket on or anything, and I was like, "Oh my god, they punished me for being so drunk last night." I was so cold, and I pulled over like Haran's sheet, and like there was a gap between the air mattress and the couch, and I just had my like my feet in it because my feet were so fucking cold. Anyway,
Meanwhile, we gave this guy a blanket and filled up his air mattress and gave him a pillow in a separate room too.
What an ungrateful little shithead.
That's crazy.
I
man.
actually have zero idea why I came over. I've never sleepwalked in my life, dude. It was wild.
Do you listen to music while you're asleep?
I do. I actually do.
You're a fucking psychopath.
No, okay.
That's the end of that conversation.
Speaking of sleepwalking, people also moonwalk when they listen to music. Welcome to Spotify. Rap.
It's actually just as cringy as like their transitions are like, oh, while people are trying to think of what NFT is, guess what your favorite
Yeah.
song of the year was or something. So
Yeah,
dumb.
you understood the assignment.
Yeah.
That was so annoying. When I saw that, I turned my phone off.
But then you didn't because then you would have nothing to talk about right now, right, True?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about our Spotify Wrapped if you haven't gathered already.
I'm not going to be. I abstain because I have Apple Music, but I have a lot of the similar things. I don't have whatever the fuck that Aura bullshit is, but I have a lot of the other stuff. So I think I'll be alright to participate most of it.
Okay. So let's start off with how much music we actually listened to this year. For me, it wasn't actually like much at all. Like I think this might be my lowest amount of music I ever listened to for a year. I was at 19,000 minutes.
I was at a solid 30K. I think Haran probably hit the most out of us. Harsha, would you have?
Yeah, it was a down year for me, but it was 48K.
I was at 27K, so a little less than Christian.
Why do you think people listen to less music this year? Do you think it was just like being at home all the time? Or do you think it was like music isn't interesting anymore?
I think I do a lot of my music listening while I'm traveling places,
Yeah.
especially like by myself. Like if I'm like on public transport, which I've been doing a lot in SF and stuff, or in Palo Alto, but or like even just like going around campus. I usually have earbuds in, so
The earbuds that we bought you?
yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, for me personally, like in college, when I was doing homework, I would listen to like rap, like pretty much all the time, no matter what I was working on. But nowadays, I listen more to like the lo-fi streams on YouTube. I would say like the majority of when I listen to actual music is either in the car or like in the shower. But then in the car, I also listen more to podcasts anyway. So it's really just that shower, I guess.
Yeah, I just listen to more podcasts and like don't want to put in the effort to find more music that interests me. Just rather just listen to the podcast. It's just easier, and I enjoy it more now.
Do you think it's because podcasts are longer? So there's like, you have to go through less of them. You know what I mean? Like if you take a shower, right, you probably go through, I don't want to assume your shower time, you weak guy, but like, I don't know, 4 or 5 songs. But it's like maybe a third of a podcast or something. Do you think it's easier because it's like just one episode of a podcast?
Yeah, and I'm more interested in the topic of the podcast than the song at the end. Because I'm just not looking just to listen to it because I'm bored. It's more like I'm interested in what they have to say.
Mhm. It's a good thing we got into podcasts.
Like our podcast.
What's our podcast called, Harsha?
An interesting discussion sometimes.
I know.
Couldn't even
Sometimes
say
you
it.
just
Our
get choked
podcast
up
is a whole-
listening to it.
Our
you know?
podcast is a real mouthful, but we'll talk more about podcasts later in this podcast.
Podcastingly.
Please listen. Keep listening. I don't know what I'm saying.
I hope you're not taking a shower.
Okay, so next statistic I wanted to see is what are you guys' top artists?
Picasso.
Respect. I'll go first. My number one was Drake. I feel like Drake released like a shit ton of music this year, actually. So
Yeah, capitalize the shit in that shit ton, if you will.
yeah. Donda. Number 2, Travis Scott. Number 3, The Weeknd. Number 4, Post Malone. Number 5 was, and I just realized now why he's number 5, but it's DJ Khaled.
We the best.
Nah, I think it's because he released that like the
Assad.
big album
Could he release
Another
his-
one.
he released a big album with like all this hella features, and I think it was in Rap Caviar like a lot, like for months and months. So I probably just like went through it a lot. But yeah, what about you guys? I know Haran, you're pretty diversified.
Yeah, kind of. My top artists were Coldplay, who was in the top 0.5% listeners this year. Fun fact. Hans Zimmer was number 2, then Drake, 21 Savage, and Kanye West.
Mine are probably the same as last year. We got Travis, Kanye, Drake, Lil Uzi Vert, and Migos.
Who's your favorite Migo? Mygo.
You go.
I think Takeoff.
I think Offset is my favorite, but Takeoff is like the one who's like the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we've had this discussion before, but basically, like,
Yeah.
Offset probably makes the best music, but Takeoff is like the most talented. And Quavo was just, he gotten old, bro.
Keep that shit over there.
But yeah, they were also in my top 5, but they happened to be 5th. I have Uzi 1, Ty with Juice WRLD, Future's 2, 3, I guess, and then Travis is 4. But Uzi and Future had a tape together, which I listened to a lot. And then actually Juice WRLD probably would be higher because, especially in the last like month and a half or so, I've been listening to a lot of music on YouTube of like unreleased stuff, which is weird because he just released an album with like half of those songs on it like last week, like this past Friday. So that was really weird that like I'd been listening to those songs for like so long. Well, not so long, like a couple of weeks. And then they actually came out like officially. So that was kind of weird. And he has a HBO documentary coming out. So
Big hobo guy. Moving on. This is probably the thing that I most want to hear from you guys. Top songs. So I'll go through mine first again. Number 1, Wants and Needs, as Drake was my number 1 as well, you know, so that makes sense. Number 2, Every Chance That I Get, the DJ Khaled song with Lil Baby, and it says da da da, so Lil, etc., whoever else is on that song. Number 3, First Take, which is a classic. Number 4, The Less I Know, The Better, Tame Impala. And number 5, Goodie Bag by Still Woozy.
for Apple Music, they give you like this playlist of like 100 songs that are like your 100 most listened to, and they like, I don't know, you can put it in your library, whatever. And my top 1 had 36, and my 100th had I think like 16 or 17. I'll just do my top 5. Top one. Number 1 was "Tell Me You Love Me" by Juice WRLD and Trippie Redd, which I guess I did listen to that song a lot. And then number 2 is "Bad Boy" by Juice WRLD and Young Thug, which I thought, I don't know, they shot that music video before he passed. That was like the last music video he did, so like that was cool to see. 3 was "Vaccine" by Migos, so I think that single-handedly pushed Migos up to number 5 on the artist list. So you know, everybody go get their vaccines if they haven't already. Get your boosters, bitches. And then "Never Left" and "Money on Me" by Lil Tecca were 4 and 5, which I think is just because they released it like the same time, and I wasn't sure if I liked them or not, so I just kept playing them. So yeah.
What's your verdict?
They're decent. They're like, the problem with a lot of these pop-ish kind of songs is that you hear them so much on like TikTok and like all this shit that were like, if you hear one part of that song, it's so annoying. But like other than that, the rest of the song is like pretty decent. I think, but the thing, I don't want to get too deep into it, but he's still only like 19 or 18 or something. Like he's a really young artist. So like hopefully, I don't know, like I want him to do well, but at the same time, it's not a lot of substance. It's a lot of like pumping shit out. Whatever. Harsho.
So my top 5, I listened to "Through the Late Night" by Travis Scott a total of 9 times. You know,
It's lit.
really love that song. Next was "Frequency" by Kid Cudi. I don't think I listened to that frequently if I listened to the first song 9 times. But yeah. Third song was an Indian song called "Mr. Perfect." Kind of a
Mr.
banger.
Brightside?
Sing it.
No.
Sing it. For the people that don't know it.
I don't know the words besides like, and the hook is like he's Mr. Perfect, so that's in English. Number 4 is "Highest in the Room" by Travis Scott, and number 5 is "Signs" by Drake.
I've never
Solid.
heard that song before in my entire life.
Yeah, I probably listened to it like 4 or 5 times, I guess.
It's a sign.
Yeah, I can close out this discussion. My top song was "One More Time" by Daft Punk, which I think I listened to 30 times. Second was
Wait, what
"Saint
was
Laurent." What?
Can you say that one more time? I didn't hear you.
Oh yeah, my top song was "One More Time" by Daft Punk. I listened to it 30 times.
Got it.
Yeah.
Can you say it again?
31.
So dumb. Just keep talking.
My second song was "Saint Laurent Mask" by Huncho Jack. Third was "Imagination" by Frost for the People. Number 4 was "505" by Arctic Monkeys. Number 5 was "Time to Pretend" by MGMT.
Management?
No.
I was gonna say that too.
Wait, does MGMT stand for something?
I'm not sure actually.
Most grown men
Thick.
think. Oh, think.
But most people probably know.
Harsha, I need to
probably
move
know
you to the
MGMT.
management department.
I was saying most people probably know MGMT from Kids.
Kid Cudi.
Like that song Kids.
Oh.
But
Oh.
yeah, I guess Kid Cudi too.
Yeah, because
He was-
Kid Cudi did.
Pursuit of Happiness. at
Yeah,
MGMT.
on Man on the Moon 1 and 2, he did a lot with
Collabs.
MGMT. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Fun fact: they're very shy live. So there's
Oh.
that. Yeah,
mm.
kind of sad. Not that bad, but could be a lot better.
Speaking of people that are shite live, let's talk
I'm
about
dead
our
inside.
podcast.
Oh.
Oh, buddy.
If we had to do a live podcast, where would you want to do it? What stadium?
Stadium. Oh, I was
Yeah.
We'd be
for
lucky to get
all
a
of our
fucking
fans.
balcony, bro.
First Energy Stadium.
Where is that?
It's the Brown Stadium.
Oh, I definitely don't want to go there. It's in Ohio. Who the fuck has a state that's only 4 letters long? That's so stupid.
I want to do it in the Sandwich Stadium.
Jersey Mike's? I think realistically, if we could get like a Rose Bowl or something, out there in California.
Man, you want to
Ron?
go one of the biggest stadiums in the country?
Yeah.
Pasadena is not close to me, man. How am I supposed to lock that deal up?
To work on it, bro. I don't fucking know what to tell you.
Wait, it's not close to you?
Is it?
Doesn't Stanford play? Did they not play near Stanford?
What? What are you talking about?
Doesn't the Rose Bowl where the Stanford team plays or no?
No, I
Is that
thought,
not right?
I thought Rose Bowl was like in Southern California.
Oh yeah, I know nothing. Yeah,
Wait.
probably right.
Wait, am I? I don't. I thought so. I thought Pasadena was near LA.
It could. Yeah, you're probably right, man. I don't know. Yeah.
The reason I ask is because I'm going to send out an email to them showing them our amazing statistics and why they should book us. Christian, what are our statistics?
Statistically, we're good.
Why
Yeah.
you so stressed?
We're good. Do you want
Just
to talk
lie.
about? Yeah, we have 1 million impressions per minute. Do you want to talk about like our holistic, like our podcast? Do you want to talk about like individual podcasts first?
So we got my individual podcast first, I guess.
Okay. I don't have data on the podcast that I listen, so I'll just kind of fudge some numbers for you. Obviously, our podcast is number 1 in my books, but
Why did you sound like a SpongeBob character? What the fuck was that? Oh, that's pretty good, actually. That was really good.
I didn't really start listening to podcasts other than ours until I would say like 2 or 3 months ago, like consistently. There was one podcast that I listened to a lot like last year, but now I listen to basically soccer podcasts like when I try to go to bed. And so that's one. And then there's like a comedy podcast. The comedy podcast is called The Super Mega Show, which is like these 2 guys who they're like a YouTube channel. They like whatever. They do like live sketches and stuff now. They just released a book, which was weird. Anyway, and then I listened to the Spanish Football Podcast, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a podcast about football, soccer in Spain. And I listened to the Gavin Jules Show, which is these 2 ESPN FC journalists.
Pundits.
Yeah. One is French, who lives in England, and the other one's Italian, who lives in England. One of them talks a lot more than the other, but they have really cool guests. That's and people who know. And I like to learn a lot because I haven't like Haran's watched football since he was like -3. So.
Yeah, some would say I'm an expert of the field, but don't want to toot my
They call
horn
it the
too
pitch.
much.
I heard.
Fuck.
But yeah, I
Got you
like
there,
to
man.
I like to learn about like the history of the game and everything. So that's cool for me. So you guys can get into it with all your numbers and stuff.
I'll go next because I think I listened to less podcasts than these two. My top 4 podcasts according to Spotify. My number 1 was actually this podcast, funnily enough, which it wasn't the case last year. So you can shows how devoted I am to the cause, if you will. Number 2 was ESPN FC, which is related to what Christian was talking about. That like Gavin Jewell's podcast is on this, like considered under this like branch, ESPN FC. Number 3 was What's Oppa, which is a podcast run by one of my friends, Joyce. Actually, was on this podcast earlier this year.
You already listened to it if you listened to this episode, her episode. So you know.
Yeah. Yeah. If you guys didn't know, she does a rewatch podcast of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is actually really good. Like they go into really detailed analysis of each episode. Definitely, you should consider listening to if you're a fan of the show. And number 4 is, which I'm sure will be on Harsh's list, is the Bill Simmons Ringer podcast. But yeah, that's my top 4. Also, I guess one more statistic: I listened to our podcast 33 times. So
That's it.
I think it's a good amount, man, for a year.
So yeah, like Haran said, my top podcast was the Bill Simmons podcast, where I listened to 146 episodes.
Holy shit!
Wait, what?
146 episodes.
That's
How
like
many episodes
2
did
a
you
How many
week.
minutes is that?
a week?
he releases podcasts 3 times a week. So I feel like
You
I
listen to almost
every.
every one. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I mentioned in the beginning that I listened to 26,000 or 27,000 minutes on Spotify, and this podcast was almost 15,000 minutes
Oh my
out of
god.
the 27. So yeah, I really did not listen to any music. To be fair, he releases podcasts 3 times a week, and I really don't listen to any other podcasts besides his because that takes up a good amount of time from other things.
What's the appeal to like?
I like it because he talks about the sports I'm interested in, which is basketball and football. He also like brings on other like analysts that I read or like listen to like from ESPN or The Ringer or like other places. And he also does a lot of pop culture stuff. Like right now, like the big show that people are talking about on Twitter is Succession, which just finished their finale like pretty recently. And after every week, after the episode, he like talks about it with one person on the podcast, just recapping the episode and talking about like plot lines and things like I don't really notice because I don't watch the show for like critically or to explain to other people about it. But like he brings up a lot of good stuff, and he did that with Game of Thrones as well. And other stuff that other people that he brings on is like actors if they're releasing a movie or like promoting something. Or like that. So I feel like I get to know about things that I won't normally read about myself. The only drawback is he's like a super
Don't even
diehard
fucking say
Boston
it.
sports fan, so it's just kind of annoying sometimes, but you can get past that, I guess.
But can you repeat what sports fan? I think Christian said exactly when you were talking.
Oh, Boston
No.
sports fan. So
Oh, the worst kind of sports fan.
Bro, I'll slit both of your throats and do unspeakable things to it, so just shut up.
Oh my god.
Like,
I would hate to be a throat goat, bro.
yeah, actually, the beginning of the year, he predicted like a Patriots Bucks Super Bowl, and I was like, oh my god, of course he would fucking homer or whatever. But
He's
now
actually
he
really
doesn't
close.
look that stupid, which is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Bitch.
I regret all the shit talk I did against the Patriots at the beginning of this year. To be fair, Christian also was doubting their chances, like
Well,
into
to
week
be
4.
fair, we started 2-4, so we didn't look great, but we were also
Yeah.
it's not worth getting into.
Wait, so what other podcasts are in your top 4?
oh, other podcasts. Pardon My Take, which is a Barstool Sports podcast. Those guys are idiots and it's just funny. But yeah, they're actually so stupid. Yeah. But one of the guys is a Washington football team fan. This other one is the Rooster Teeth podcast, which Tarun showed me. I listened to a couple episodes of theirs, so I guess it's up there. I don't really know what they talk about. I don't know how to describe it because I didn't listen to that much, but maybe Tarun can.
They talk about it just a random myriad of items. I don't even know, like topics. They
Like
talk
us.
about games, culture, just like shit that I honestly I enjoy listening to it when they like complain about like their daily lives, like when because they're just like really funny when they get angry. Yeah, so my top podcast was How I Built This with Guy Raz. Basically this guy Raz.
Skyrise.
He has like he has CEOs like I guess founding members of like different companies come on and talk about like their story, like how they grew up, like how they started their company, like challenges they faced. I don't know, shit that I'm really interested in, like how people bring like an idea like to fruition, I guess, like, especially like such insane scales, like billions and billions of dollars. Like it's interesting hearing like what they have to say, because I feel like the only billionaire that I really hear from is like Elon Musk, because he like tweets memes on
God.
Twitter and stuff. But like every other billionaire for the most part is kind of just like, you know, I don't know, I
Pretty
never
low-key.
really hear anything from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool like hearing about their like decision making and all that type of stuff, and like seeing patterns between different people. Yeah, that's my number one. Number two was Crime Junkie. Their podcast is really good, actually. It's like very well researched, like just you know, murder stories and like stuff like that. And then number three was ours. Number four was NPR On Our Watch, which I've never listened to that, so it must have been my brother or his wife.
Yeah, okay.
And then the
Fucking
last
boomer.
one was Bigger Pockets. It's a real estate podcast. I didn't really like listen to that much at all, honestly. I think it's just on there because I listen to like a few here and there, like once in a while.
Nice. So neither True and Harsha had our podcast on their top podcast list.
You would,
But you
no,
know
he
who had
top
our
three.
podcast on their top podcasts? Amrita did. Woo!
Shout out to him.
Let me see if I can find how many episodes you listened to.
Yeah, but while Harsha does his Crime Junkies level research, we if you had our podcast in your Spotify Wrapped, you know, send us a screenshot. You know, we're gonna post a story either individually or on the account at some time during the week that this episode goes live. So, you know, you can send us a DM or just, you know, do something. Let us know if we were on your Spotify Wrapped.
So I found it. She listened to 41 episodes of our podcast for a total of 2,683 minutes.
Holy
Damn,
shit!
she-
Woo!
41 out of how many did we release? Probably like so far this year, like probably like 45 or something like that, or maybe
Yeah.
50 at this point. Maybe like that's a lot.
Oh, but when I said 33, it was like fucking nothing.
Yeah,
That's a good amount, to be fair. Shout out to Amrita. So that's a goal for you guys who are listening right now to beat next year. So get on it.
listen to every episode we release plus one. You know,
Yeah. Just listen to old episodes, you know? Some of the classics that you may have forgotten about.
yeah, timeless.
Like Alien Love.
That's episode 47, guys.
I don't know how Harsha knew that so quickly.
But you know what keeps us going? The money. Just kidding. But we still like the money. So we're going to go take an ad and we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. Now that we've done our individual music, individual podcasts, we can jump into the collective podcast year wrap up thanks to Spotify Wrapped and other statistics. So I have it in front of me where I will share some of the Spotify Wrapped details, and then I'll throw some other stuff that we get from our Anchor stats and all that kind of stuff. Our first episode this year was episode 39. So this is episode 89. We have one more after this one coming out. So, you know, that's a 51 episodes released this year. It's quite a lot. Or maybe 52 if you count 39. So that's a lot of episodes that we got done. Wow. We can never say we're not consistent.
Never miss a week, man.
Consistently shit.
How many of those 52 would you say were banger level episodes, True?
Bangers?
Yeah.
Episode 47.
I think we probably have 10 bangers in those 50.
Do you think that's more than it was last year when we? I mean, we released
Like
less.
proportionally.
It was a smaller pool, but yeah, proportionally, you think it was about the same or more?
I think it's more. I think we
Right.
got better, and I also think our guests. I mean, we had the same guests as last year as well, but we had some very cool guests on this year. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that means we're on a road to improvements. I mean, we can shoot for
Dude, bro.
higher next year.
Next year we'll have half of our episodes be bangers, and that's crazy.
Damn.
Look, go us next
But if they
year.
all become bangers, then how do you go?
How do you
above
get
a bang?
banged? Anyway, numbers. So we had an increase of 136% followers and 115% hours listened, which is crazy shit.
That's pretty insane. Yeah.
Mhm.
So shout out to you guys listening. That's all you who pumped those numbers up. Going back to the top podcast thing that we asked you to DM, it said 49 people listen to our podcast more than any other podcast. That's a lot.
Wait, that's pretty cool.
That is actually a shit ton.
So shout out to all of you. If you're one of those 49, other than Haran, let us know. Send us a screenshot or something. So we wanna put names to numbers, if you will.
And we want to reward you guys. You know, we got some nice giveaways.
We'll give away Haran.
It said that we had 3 fans listen to us on their birthdays. I don't really know why they pulled that number out, but that was interesting, I guess.
Should we just start saying happy birthday at the beginning of every podcast? Because then, like, eventually it'll just be true, right? And they'll be like, wait, what?
Wait, someone finally remembered my birthday? You start crying.
If you're listening to this right now, happy birthday.
Yeah.
If I got that right, message us. Please.
It says that 38% of the people who listen like to listen between 5 and 11 p.m. So, you know, they like to relax and unwind after a hard day at work by listening to us. So we like to provide that enjoyment factor. It's like, wow, I spent so much time thinking and using my brain today. So now we can let these idiots just be stupid and you lose all my brain cells. Now this is the one that I think is crazy. It says we released over 3,000 minutes of content this year. Which,
Jeez.
that's a lot of talking, man.
And how much of the 3,000 minutes was waffle?
Oh. Too many of those minutes.
2,900.
Thanks for that number.
That's how, like,
listen,
elementary school kid like trying to say how high you can count up to. Oh, I can count up to 2,900.
Those are all the interesting statistics from the Spotify Wrapped. But something I always tend to look at every once in a while is the distribution of the countries that we have listeners from, or listens, if you want to separate it like that. Last year, I think I totaled it up and I made like a map or something. And I made you guys guess all of the different countries that we got listens from. I don't think I'm going to do that again, but there's a lot of countries here this year. I'm going to count it. Hold on.
I'm going to guess 29.
We might have to update our country tier list after going through this map.
I've totaled the number of countries. Tarun says he thinks it's 29. Harsha, what do you think?
27.
Ron
33.
will tell you are all wrong and you are all low.
Ooh, 76.
48.
57.
Aren't there only like 109 countries or is it 209?
I think it's 200.
Anyway,
I thought it was
Haran-
216.
Haran is the closest.
Of course I am, dude. What else is new?
There are
Closest to being a bitch. Sorry. Sorry.
Yes, but there are 45 different countries that we got listens from. Now, this isn't just like this year. This could also be from last year. This is just from like the beginning. And 95% were from the US. So, you know, a good solid A+ majority of our base is from the US. I mean, there also is like statistics of where in the US. I mean, like, it's not worth going into our under 1% of people who listen from Minnesota. So, I hate geographic location. It took me back to some fucking thing where I listed all of the planets and just said Earth 100%.
What if it didn't say 100%? The Alien Love episode is so intergalactic, bro.
Throw out instead of making you guess every episode, every country. Think of some random countries, and I'll see if I can find them on here. There's not too many like extremely out of pocket countries, I would say.
Syria.
You think?
Another guess?
What?
Another guess?
Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia is on there.
Damn.
Shout out to our
How is
Riyadh.
our podcast allowed in Saudi Arabia? That's crazy.
Qatar.
Qatar? No, Qatar.
Venezuela.
Venezuela? No, sir.
Can you just tell us some of the outlandish countries?
Okay, fine.
I feel like she might just take too long.
Nah, your geographical knowledge needs to step up.
I quite literally have a map in front of me, and I'm just trying to think of the craziest countries, but I can't think of any.
We got. Well, okay. I already said outlandish, and I feel like I'm doing these countries a disservice. But I'm just gonna list
If you
all
want
the
to know
countries.
more about us doing a country disservice, listen to the Djibouti episode 69.
Or don't. I'll go bottom to top, which I think is order of listens, but I'm pretty sure they all have like one. But we'll see. We got the Czech Republic, which I remember from last time. Iran, Taiwan, Bangladesh, Slovakia, the UAE, Austria, and then there's Saudi Arabia. You got Ukraine, Morocco, Colombia, Vietnam, Israel, Sri Lanka, Finland, Portugal, Switzerland, Thailand, Indonesia, Spain, Japan, Italy, Romania, Uzbekistan, Russia, the Philippines, Iraq, Costa Rica, Poland, Mexico, Norway, the Netherlands, the UK, South Korea, Singapore, Egypt, Australia, France, Sweden, China, Malaysia, Canada. And then there's 2 countries before you hit the USA. Do you know what they are? India is the 3rd country, and there's 7 different regions in India of where the listeners are from. And you guys have to guess them.
What the? One of them has to be Andhra, right? Like that. Wait.
Nope. Well, okay, I say nope, but I don't.
Call Andhra? Or I don't know. The fuck?
Wait, how is this classified? Like states or regions?
I think it's states. Without knowing, I'm pretty sure it's states.
Oh,
I don't know any Indian states, so don't blame me.
Andhra Pradesh.
but Harani said that, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
Is that it?
no.
is Telangana on there?
Yes, that's the number 1.
Wait, that's where Andhra is, right?
They
Yeah.
split into 2 states. Yeah,
So it's a separate thing?
yeah, it's separate now.
Oh, okay. How about
I didn't know
Tamil
Ghana
Nadu?
was in India.
Tamil Nadu is number 2.
Hell yeah. Shout out to the millions out there. Nakamuka, baby.
That was so close to a slur, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm out of states,
Dude,
bro.
we're down the states.
One of
It's
these
over.
sounds like Haran's last name.
Chettinad.
The second half of Haran's last name.
Ranjipuram. I don't
No.
know. I'm just saying easy words.
This was called Rajasthan.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Wait, Vanjipur is a place, right? No, I don't know.
I
That's
don't
a
know, man.
sweet, bro. That's a sweet, bro. What
Was it actually?
no, no, it's not.
Oh, wait, what is it?
No, I don't think it's anything.
Oh, wait, Kanjipur is a word, right?
I know kanji is a. I think it's a Japanese food.
We got West Bengal.
Shout out to the Tigers.
We got Kerala,
Kerala, yeah.
Assam,
That's
or Assam, dude.
Disrespectful.
That's worse.
How do you say it then?
I don't know.
Awesome.
Man, dickheads.
Assam.
And then we got National Capital Territory of Delhi.
There's a Delhi.
Nope, that's the full name, National Capital Territory of Delhi. And then,
Crazy.
can you guys guess what the number 2 country is?
Mexico.
Canada.
You already said that.
No.
He already said that one too.
And UK you already said too.
Yeah. It's a big country in terms of like the world.
Brazil.
Indonesia.
Right, you already said that. Russia. I already said that.
Mongolia.
No.
What side of the world are we talking about?
Europe.
Eastern, Western. Oh,
Europe. Germany.
France, Spain.
Germany.
Oh,
Hold on,
Guten Tag,
every
my
country.
friends.
Hold on, every country you said, I already said when I was listing all
well,
of the
to
countries.
be fair, I was just trying to. The ones I listened to, are the ones that like kind of like stuck out. So I was like, Uzbekistan stuck out, right? You know.
Yeah, okay. We have 86% of our Germany listens are from Hesse or Hesse. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce German words, but shout out to you, Hesse. And then we got, I don't know, bro. This sounds Thuringia. It just sounds wrong. Thuringia. Porgia. And then we have, and then the last region is Saxony-Anhalt.
How have I not heard any of the Germans say it before? I guess I don't know.
Because
Oh, Bundesliga.
Just move on.
all right, man. Can you guess outside of Virginia and
California.
outside of Virginia, what our most listened to state in the U.S. is?
California.
That's incorrect.
All
California
around,
is
baby.
4th.
Only 4?
Texas.
Texas is 8th.
New York.
Ohio.
Ohio, correct.
Oh.
Fuck
Shout
yeah.
out to Harsh's cousins.
I'm not related to anyone there.
Everyone in Cleveland is Harsh's cousin.
It's Columbus giving us the most listens.
Shout out to the Blue Jackets
Shout out to LeBron
And Buckeyes.
for once.
and the crew.
We have a nice almost 50-50 split amongst the genders of people on our listener list. We have a 51% male, 49% female, which I really thought would be higher towards the males because, well, it's us. So it's kind of
I mean, there are 4 males on this podcast.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
thought the split would be a little more heavy, but we're glad, equality and all that. So let's
Don't
try
say
and,
all and all that after that.
and we have. I mean, all right. Nobody really cares about the age ranges, but as you can imagine, 18 to 22 and 23 to 27 are 44 and 43%. I'm just surprised about the 9% of 28 to 34 and then the 2% of the 35 to 44. I don't know where those people came from, but, shout out to you too.
35 to 44?
Yeah, man. Whose parents are listening to this podcast, bro? Get your parents out of here, dog.
We get some parenting advice, though. Harsh. Remember? Harsh.
Yeah, but Harsh is just a daddy.
Oh.
Also, to be fair, our podcast was classified under lifestyle, like on Spotify. So
Yeah, because we don't know what the fuck else to classify our podcast as.
maybe people are trying to get some lifestyle advice from us too.
It'd be a banger episode if we got parents as guests on our podcast and they give us like hypothetical situations of like what to do when a kid does this or something. We have to answer and they give us points based on who's closest to the right answer.
I like that.
Yeah, if you got some extra parents laying around, send them our way.
Don't send them there, just tell them.
And we're creeping towards our 3K listens milestone, or plays rather. So hopefully we hit that right after the new year. But I think that's probably all the interesting little statistical factoids that we have. So we definitely want to say thanks to everybody for sticking with this. This is like a year and a half now. It's a crazy long time. We will have some sort of a special treat at some point in the future, but that's under wraps, or Spotify wraps, if you will. So to be determined. But again, thanks everybody. That shit goes crazy.
Yeah, thanks guys. Hopefully we can hit more goals in the next year. Keep expanding and growing.
Yeah. Stay tuned for our NFT line.
It'll just be Haran and his dildos.
Actually,
what do you mean, boy? Actually,
that's a good idea.
But yeah, keep listening, everybody. Thank you. So Haran can buy more and more dildos as years go by.
Okay, now that we've talked about ourselves for enough, we're gonna have Haran talk about himself, because he had something interesting happen to him. I think I don't know. I was given a very small amount of details leading into this story. I was just telling.
Yes. I hope I recall this as well as I did in the moment, because it was pretty fucking crazy. But basically, I was in SF. I was on a bus with Bhavna, and Kavi was actually on our podcast recently. And basically, they were sitting next to me, and then they were across from us. There were these two African American men. One of them was like a little bit older than the other guy, and one guy had a mask on. The other one didn't have a mask on, which is, I guess you need to have one on like public transport, at least in SF.
Mm-hmm.
So technically illegal, but no one was really saying anything, so it was just chill. And then a couple stops later, like a guy, like some like older guy with like I don't know how old he was, probably like 45. I think like Middle Eastern man like sat next to me, and he was like muttering stuff, but I couldn't really hear. Also, I wasn't like fully paying attention to what he was saying because I was like talking to Bob and Kavya. But turns out he was muttering like at this guy who was sitting across from him without his mask on. Pretty much he was just saying like, "Put your mask on, put your mask on, put your mask on," like over and over and over. And eventually, I think like the guy across from me that had his mask on, like the friend of the other dude,
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Hey, yo, do you have something to say?" And I thought he was talking to me, so I looked over and I was like, "What the fuck is going on? I'm scared." And then like,
I'm scared.
And then this guy like, he was like, "Yeah, like I wanted to like tell your friend to put your mask on," and then like, basically like they just like started like yelling at each other and like hurling insults, and like he was like tapping my shoulder, and he was like, "Dude, yeah, can you get a load of this guy?" Like he was like,
Get a load of this guy.
He's like, yeah, get a load of this guy. Like he doesn't have like a mask on, and I was just like nodding nervously. Like I don't know who to like support in this, because like yeah, like he never should have a mask on, but also this guy was like going like a little crazy, and like threatening to fight and like people and stuff. And then yeah, I was like getting pretty heated, and eventually the guy put a mask on, but this guy next to me wouldn't stop yelling at him still. And like he was like cursing at him too. It was pretty aggressive. And then a white guy that was like sitting like a couple seats down, like on the left of me. He tried to like break up the fight. And he was like, "Yeah, just, like,
white saviors, am I right?"
He's like, "Yeah, he put the mask on. Like everyone, like shut up." And then the friend was like, he's like, "Hey, I know you're old ass and trying to get involved." It was really funny. And then he was like, "Yeah." And then the white guy was like, "Yeah, I might just come kick your black ass right now."
Oh.
And I was like, "Whoa." And then Coffee was like, "Yeah, don't worry, we're like one stop away. Like we just gotta get off this bus." So and yeah, then they were like kind of yelling at each other, but thankfully no fighting had occurred. But it was probably the craziest public transport like scene I've ever seen in my life. And I was way too close to it. I wish I was further back in that bus.
What if when you got off, it was actually like right after they did the Shang-Chi like bus fighting scene?
And the thing is, I made that joke before. Like I told Bob, I was like, oh, this is like it's very similar to the bus like that like Shang-Chi was on during the SF fight scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, thankfully no such action happened on this bus.
Haran, you should have stopped the fight, man, instead of nodding. That's what you should have done.
I don't want to get involved, bro. Then this guy would have said something to me too. He'd be like, oh, I know you're
What would he say?
curry ass. I don't know.
Hey,
He
yo.
changed it to me.
Yeah, public transportation is fucking scary, man.
Yeah.
Harsha, I can't believe you absolutely murdered a homeless man on a New York subway system.
No. I got punched. Please.
Yeah, but only, I'm not going back to the fucking courtroom, bro. I'm not getting into this shit, dude.
Turn, what would you have done in that situation?
I want to say I would have like egged them on for entertainment purposes, but I
Yeah.
most definitely would not have done that. In my head, I
definitely
would
not.
have tried to, but in the physical plane, I would have sat there,
Yeah.
just shut the fuck up.
But it was a bus.
Yeah, I really wish the seating order of me, Bob, and Coffee were switching that, and I was like further away.
Oh my god, you push your girlfriend in the middle of two grown men fighting?
I never said Bobna should be the one next to me.
Oh my. Okay. You mean our wonderful guest? Come on, man.
No, I'm just kidding. I guess I am glad it was me instead because
No, you're not. You're just
I guess-
saying that. It's okay.
Well, to be fair, Kavya did jump in a volcano, so she could do like anything.
She's
That's true,
invincible.
yeah.
That's true.
I don't want to doubt her power. That is true.
Yeah. She's lava girl.
She's there was definitely more like obscene stuff that they said to each other, but I can't remember.
Yeah, okay, convenient.
Yeah, but quite it was just vulgar, man. Oh shit, yeah, and like and the guy that was sitting next to me, he ended up like getting up and like moving a little bit away, and then like he like tried to sit next to like this girl who was already like, and like the girl like had to get off like on that stop, and like he wouldn't let her out. And then like everyone was like, yo, like let her out. And he was like so busy just like yelling at this guy that he wasn't even paying attention. And but eventually he let her out. Everyone was just kind of stressed, man.
But at least nobody shot on the bus. So
Yeah. Yeah, then everyone got off the bus and shot up together.
as is tradition in San Francisco.
That is SF.
Well, as you do with a good shit, you feel good, you feel better inside after you've taken a nice big dumpy. We have reached the conclusion as to where we feel good about this episode. So we will wrap it up. We want to thank everybody again for listening all year long, having all of your numbers included in our podcast wrapped, our individual wraps. It's so hard saying the word rap when you're talking about music and Wrapped and Spotify. It's very hard, Our job's really hard, can you tell? But yeah, we want to thank everybody for the support all year long. Again, that was definitely very much appreciated. But if you want to continue your support and all that, you can catch us on Instagram at An Interesting Discussion. As you well know, Spotify. We got Apple Music as well, Anchor, YouTube, we got all these different avenues to access our podcast. But that will wrap it up for this week. We have one more episode for the year. We got a really awesome guest next week, and we hope you guys enjoy. All right, we'll see you guys then. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.